Hello everybody, it's Non-Scene News here, and today we've got a lot of breaking updates today. So the first news is coming from Putin's visit to Mongolia. We're going to really quickly just wrap up the statements between Russia's President Vladimir Putin and the Mongolian President. So I'll just go over Putin's statements overall in the Mongolian visit. So he stated that Russia and Mongolia will actively develop cooperation in the traditional industries and establish joint work in the high-tech sphere. The talks in Mongolia were held in a constructive and meaningful manner, and also allowed the leaders to outline further prospects for partnership. Russia appreciates that Mongolia is pursuing a policy of cooperation with Moscow that was confirmed in the talks. Strengthening relations with Mongolia remains one of Russia's priorities. Russia and Mongolia are actively cooperating and developing partnerships. And after Putin left Mongolia, the Mongolian president posted this video on Twitter. So it was kind of like an edit of the two people and about Putin's visit. So he stated within this video, he commented on the video that, "Dear Vladimir Putin, we hope for your warm return to our beautiful country, with its ancient history and eternal blue sky." So it seems that the Mongolian president is very keen for Putin to actually return to Mongolia. So obviously we've got some news about Putin's arrest warrant. Obviously Putin theoretically was meant to be arrested into Mongolia as soon as Putin landed in the capital city of Mongolia. By law, Mongolia was meant to arrest Putin, so obviously that did not happen. Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine stated that the Mongolian government fails to carry out the blinding ICC arrest warrant for Putin is a heavy blow to the International Criminal Court and the International Criminal Justice System. Mongolia allowed the indicted criminal to escape justice, thereby showing responsibility for his war crimes. We will work with our partners to ensure that this has consequences for Mongolia. So, obviously, according to the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, there will be harsh punishments for Mongolia for not arresting Putin. The EU has already criticized Mongolia for failing to arrest Putin. The European Union has expressed regret that Mongolian authorities welcomed the Russian President Vladimir Putin without arresting him, as required by International Criminal Court's warrant. So, very interesting. So now let's just follow Putin for a bit. So Putin, after his visit to Mongolia, has actually set way to Vladivostok, Russia's far east city. So here it is. It's on the coast side of Russia's far east. So this is Vladivostok. So Putin is going to, and well, he is attending the Eastern Economic Forum. So a lot of foreign prime ministers and presidents and delegations have actually arrived in this economic forum. So one of these are the Malaysian Prime Minister has actually landed in Vladivostok to participate in the Eastern Economic Forum and hold talks with Putin. So we've already got one of the statements of the meeting between Putin and the Prime Minister of Malaysia. So he stated that the chairman of the Malaysian Prime Minister stated and told Putin that not only Malaysia but the entire union is looking forward to working with Russia. So Malaysia is looking forward to working and extending cooperation with Russia. We also got news that the Chinese Vice Chairman Han Xing at the Economic Eastern Forum also arrived in Vladivostok. So we can see here in your bottom left corner, we can see the President Vladimir Putin walking with the Chinese representatives at the forum. So one of the things he stated, that Putin stated, that holding a separate meeting with Xi Jinping at the BRICS summit in Kazan. So obviously Xi Jinping will be attending the BRICS summit in Kazan. So Putin is stating that maybe Xi Jinping and Putin can have a separate meeting. Now we've got news coming from the Serbian Deputy Prime Minister. So this Serbian Deputy Prime Minister also visited Vladivostok and he met with Putin. So he stated that Serbia will never impose sanctions against the Russian Federation and will not allow its territory to be used for anti-Russian actions. Serbia will never become a member of NATO and a part of anti-Russian groups. Serbia is not only a strategic partner, but also an ally of the Russian Federation. The pressure from the West on Serbia is enormous. We thank you for Moscow's support for defending the territorial integrity of Serbia. So, very big statements coming from Serbia. Now, let's just really quickly head to Kazan. So, we'll just, about a couple of minutes ago, we're talking about the BRICS summit in Kazan. So, Erdogan, the president of Turkey, has accepted the invitation to BRICS summit in Russia. So, the Turkish president will attend the BRICS summit in Kazan on October the 22nd to October the 24th. And the summit will also discuss Turkey's application to join BRICS, the first NATO member to do so. The Russian President Vladimir Putin is also expected to visit Turkey, but the dates are not determined yet. We also got news that the Bolivian president is also going to attend the BRICS summit in Russia. So is Armenia. Now let's go into some Russian political updates. So Russia has warned NATO and warns countries of an immediate and extremely painful response in case of new terrorist steps by Kiev, the Russian Foreign Ministry stated. So Russia is warning NATO countries of an immediate and extremely painful response. So we'll see if NATO keeps pushing. Footage has also been released of a testing of a new Russian portable drone fighter from Nova Labs. So the interceptor is equipped with machine vision and capable of recognizing targets and the target itself. So we've actually got some videos of this. So this is apparently like a drone fighter. So it seems just to bash right into it to take down Ukrainian drones or drones in general. Now let's head to some Ukrainian political updates. So we just got an interview with some American, I think he's an American journalist that came from America to Kiev to interview the Ukrainian president. So within this interview, this journalist asked Zelensky about peace. So I think you guys should give it a watch.
So do you think we are now on a path toward ending this war? Are you heading toward peace negotiations? Is holding this part of Russia, the Kursk Oblast, part of your way to end the war?
Я вважаю, що, дивіться, з нашого боку ми точно хочемо закінчення війни. Абсолютно. І план перемоги мій. Він направлений суто на те, щоб змусити Росію закінчити війну. Змусити їх зрозуміти, що це безглузде. Те, що вони натворили.
So from that response, Zelensky stated that the Kursk region is an exact result of trying to push Russia to the negotiating table, but a very interesting response by President Zelensky. We've also got news that the Ukrainian foreign minister has actually resigned. So the Ukrainian foreign minister resigned, and actually quite a lot of people in the past 24 hours in the Ukrainian government have actually resigned too. So obviously we just talked about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We've also got news that the Minister of Justice, Denis Maltsuka, also resigned, and the Minister for Strategic Industries, Alexander, has also resigned. The Minister of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources of Ukraine also resigned. The Deputy Prime Minister for European and Euro-Atlantic Integration has also resigned. And the Deputy Head of Zelensky's office has also resigned. So we've gotten a lot of people who, in the past 24 hours, who have completely resigned. The UK commits $400 million for 120,000 artillery rounds to Ukraine. So the UK Defence Minister met with Umarov. So Ukrainian Defence Minister Umarov visited the United Kingdom in London, where they struck a deal with the Ministry of Defence of Britain. So now the UK will be committing 300 million for 120,000 rounds of artillery to Ukraine. We've also got news come from Norway that Norway allocates $48 million for drones. Sorry, 48 million euros for drones and air defenses for Ukraine. The German government also plans to allocate funds for the purchase of 6 IRIS-T-SLM air defense systems, which will be transferred to Ukraine, according to Reuters. And we've also got news that a massive Russian strike in this city here. So apparently Russia is stating that they destroyed Swedish military authorities and instructors. So they kind of destroyed Russian forces during the past 24 hours, held a missile strike throughout Ukraine, and one of these were in this city right here, where the Russians hit apparently a military district housing some Swedish instructors. So the Ukrainian president has confirmed that the Russian missile strike actually took place. Ukraine has vowed for revenge against Russia for such an attack. So he stated that 180 people were injured. Unfortunately, there were many casualties. As for now, there's 41 people have been confirmed have died in this Russian missile attack. So Ukraine is stating that these people are civilians. So these are 41 Ukrainian civilians that were killed. So very tragic if this is actually true. We also got news that a Russian missile strike actually hit Lviv. So if you can see here in the bottom left corner, we can see a huge ammo depot in Lviv, in this Ukrainian city, been destroyed. So this huge Ukrainian ammo depot was destroyed, and apparently there was a 7-year-old woman who was actually, girl, who was killed as a result of this strike. So very tragic. There's been a lot of civilian deaths that have been reported by Ukrainian authorities. So one thing I forgot to actually mention is that the Irish Prime Minister has also arrived in Kiev on Wednesday. So he will announce a 36 million euro package aimed at supporting Ukraine and neighboring countries. And the last news coming from Ukraine is that the IAEA delegation, including the Director General Grossi, has actually arrived at the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant for inspection. So the nuclear safety program is here to inspect the nuclear power plant, and we'll get some statements from that pretty soon, no doubt, in next video. We've also got news coming from Finland. So the big news coming from Finland, I don't know if this is true, but we've got some rumors that Finland might be banning Russians from buying real estate. So a law prohibiting Russians from purchasing real estate in Finland is expected to be submitted to the parliament by the end of this year. So this was reported by Ukrainian sources, so take it as a pinch of salt. We've also got news coming from Latvia that Latvia will send another 18 confiscated local driver cars. So Latvia will be sending 18 cars confiscated from local drivers for drunk driving to Ukraine, free of charge. So Latvia will be... Oh, sorry, I put this in Lithuania. So Latvia will be transferring 18 cars in a total cost of 94,000 euros. Now we're gonna head to the English Channel. So we've got news that a migrant boat carrying 100 people sinks in the English Channel. So we've got news that 12 of these migrants actually died as a result of this sinking in the ship of the English Channel. So very tragic news. Now let's head to Armenia and Azerbaijan. So we've got news in a conversation with Putin. The Armenian Prime Minister stated that he is ready to meet Aliyev, so the president of Azerbaijan, at the Armenian-Azerbaijan border to continue talks. And the Prime Minister of Armenia stated to Putin that he would prefer to continue negotiations with Azerbaijan without Moscow's participation. The Russian Foreign Ministry has responded to this, so he stated that if the Armenian authorities wish to engage in direct talks with Azerbaijan to resolve the Karabakh crisis without Russia's participation, so be it. And as I stated before, Armenia will attend the BRICS summit in Kazan, Russia, which will be held in October. Now let's head to Iraq. So we've got news coming from Iraq that Switzerland has reportedly reopened its embassy in Iraq for the first time in 30 years. So on Tuesday, September the 3rd, the embassy officially began operations, marking the first time since 1991 that Switzerland has had a diplomatic presence in the country of Iraq. Now let's go to Ethiopia, where we've got news that the Ethiopian Airlines have stopped all flights to Eritrea. So Eritrea is a neighbouring country of Ethiopia. So the Ethiopian state-owned carrier Ethiopian Airlines stated that it has suspended flights to the neighbouring Eritrea country, citing unspecified difficult operation conditions. So Eritrea has previously said that it would suspend all Ethiopian Airlines flights at the end of the month. We've also gotten some news coming in, so I'm not sure if this is true. We've also got news that an Ethiopian military build-up on the Somalia frontier has begun to be reported. So Somalia authorities are stating that there's been a big Ethiopian military build-up on the border. Now let's head to India, where we've got news that India has announced a successful first flight of indigenous unmanned bomber aircraft. So India has produced its own aircraft. So if you can see here, it's a bomber aircraft, so it's a bomber UAV. If you can see here, it does its first flight test and it seems to be successful, and I'll keep you updated on this UAV. And now let's head to some US statements. So the last news is coming from the US is that an unknown optical electric object has been spotted under a lockhead of the Martin F-22 fighter jet. So if you can see here in bottom left corner, this is, I don't know, this footage has been released and it's been spreading that this is an unknown, I don't know even what it is. So this has been spotted under the F-22 wing, and it's possibly a part of the JBAD Advanced Fighter Program. So I'll keep you updated on that. We've also gotten news that, and still, that Kamala Harris seems to avoid questions or talks with the reporters, journalists. So we can see here in the bottom left corner, we can see Kamala Harris with headphones on. So it seems that she is, I don't know what's happening here. I don't want to say that she's avoiding questions, but I haven't seen her do any reporting. Now we've got some news coming from Donald Trump. So Donald Trump stated on a podcast that Ukrainian and Russian casualties are probably a lot higher than it's stated to be, and that they lie about the numbers. They try to keep them low. So very interesting news, and that's actually all the news I actually have for you today. I am Non-Scene News. I'll try and provide you news that medias around the world do not show you. I do these videos hopefully daily, so consider subscribing and liking. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.